auto, handle my problems, I ain't scared.
Yo, welcome back, Pacer Nation, Pacer Station fans everywhere, ladies and gentlemen. Now today, you can kind of consider this a game recap of yesterday's matchup against Orlando, in which the Pacers became 3-0, getting a W out there against the Magic in Orlando. Another great game from TJ Warren, 32 points, but from the looks of it, from the looks of the team, there's something really special going on here. I don't think we're going to make this any kind of typical game recap video. This is going to be a little bit of talking about the state of the Pacers as a whole, maybe a podcast-like thing. But yeah, what's going on in regards to the Pacers as a team being 3-0 in the bubble so far? Where do you think this team is headed, Coach Jay?
Excuse me. Yeah, they are. The vibe on this team is very similar to the vibe that they had in 2013, which in my mind is the best team we've had to date. So that would have been the team that played Miami in the Eastern Conference Finals and pushed them to 7 games.
Yes, sir.
They just seem more focused and more together than the other teams they're playing. Because Orlando was unbeaten in the bubble when they played them too.
Right.
Just as Phoenix will be tomorrow night.
Yes, sir.
So there's something special going on here. I don't know. I'm not going to make any predictions to how far they're going to go.
Right.
At least not yet. But the Pacers right now are playing as well as any team in the bubble, maybe the best in the bubble. TJ Warren is averaging close to 40 points a game right now.
Beautiful percentages as well.
And he's doing it in the flow of the offense. He's not forcing out shots. He's not playing like Paul George, taking 2 dribbles and then a 35-foot three. He's not doing that. He's taking what the defense gives him, whether it's in the paint or beyond the 3-point line, and he's just reading the game really well. Kind of like the way Victor was before he got hurt. And if you think how scary this team is now, if they get Sabonis back and they regain their ability to go big against big teams, this team will be able to really adapt to whatever the other team throws at them with their versatility and their cohesiveness at both ends of the floor. I think this team is defending at the highest level they've defended all year. I think they're certainly moving the ball as well, if not better, than every other team in the bubble. Because I watched the Rockets the other night, and D'Antoni's known for offense.
Right.
And even they're not playing as well as we are.
Nope.
The Raptors, I'm pretty sure, unbeaten in the bubble as well. That they're winning mostly on defense. They really haven't played a team that that matches up really well with them. I'm honestly not worried about who the Pacers play. The only team that worries me is Miami, not because of Jimmy Butler, but because of Adebayo. He's always given us trouble with or without Sabonis. So if we don't get Sabonis back by the playoffs, I'm not saying we can't beat them. I'm just saying he's a tough matchup for us. But the way TJ Warren is feeling the game, I don't think Jimmy Butler, Kawhi Leonard, I don't think anybody can stop him right now.
Absolutely. And I completely agree. There's definitely something super special going on here in Indiana right now in regards to the Pacers. If nothing else, great coaching is happening. I mean, it feels like it doesn't matter what this team gets hit with. The adaptations in the way the team plays together, no matter who's on the floor, it's very admirable. It feels like everybody knows their role. Everyone, whether they have to start or not start, everyone on the court knows their role. And a player that we mentioned last video and the video before that I think is really stepping up would be Aaron Holiday. It feels like Aaron Holiday is really coming into his own, starting all these games and getting a lot more time on the court. It feels like McMillan trusts him a lot more now. Would you agree?
Definitely, and I think the reason that he's putting up such great numbers is because he's much more under control. He's playing again like TJ Warren. He's playing in the flow of the offense. He's taking great shots rather than good shots.
Right.
And he's benefiting off of the double teams on when off the double teams on Warren, off the blitzes on ball screens for Brogdon and Victor. He's just, moving off the ball and sitting in that corner, and he's getting open three after open three. The same goes for McDermott. They're doing, really what separates the Pacers right now, the way they're playing right now from the way they played earlier, is they have the most weapons available right now than they've had all year. And they're playing they're moving without the basketball. I feel like they've mastered Nate's offensive system right now. There's no set that he runs that they can't execute, that they haven't mastered fundamentally.
Absolutely.
And I think the pinnacle of somebody who has worked hard and spent time in Nate's system and is now reaping the benefits is Myles Turner. If you watch those dribble handoffs at the elbow, one of the key to that action working is not the handoff; it's the pick and roll that comes after that. And Myles, at the start of the year was only fading out. Like, that was the only cut he made, and teams knew that, so they would double team the ball handler. Well, now he's rolling to the rim and dunking on people. So, in addition to being scared of him on the pop out, which he's shooting 42% from 3-point range or something like that, you have to be aware of him on the short roll as well.
Absolutely. I think that part of that has to do, I feel like, with Sabonis being out, Myles' role in the paint took a big hit whenever Sabonis, when we found out Sabonis would be playing. It caused Myles to step up. I feel like Myles is playing way more aggressively and way more, just way more aggressively since the restart of the season. That's the biggest complaint I think most fans had about Myles Turner.
Yeah, and I think and one interesting, and if you get Sabonis back in the next few weeks, which I don't know if they will or not, Nate's going to have to make a decision whether to start the two big guys again and risk ending TJ Warren's hot streak, or start one of the big guys and bring the other one off the bench for the playoff run to see if they maintain their hot streak. If I were coaching, I would, when Sabonis comes back, I would actually bring Sabonis off the bench.
Right.
I know he was an all-star this year and totally deserving of it, but that's just what our team needs right now. And to be honest with you, because of how long Sabonis hasn't played basketball, and because of the way the team is playing right now, and I guarantee you he's watching every game. I think he would do that. I think he would be happy to play with the second unit.
For sure.
And
I think most players on our team would be other kind of guys that would be fine with taking a step back if they need to. That's the thing. I think this team is really bought in.
And just because he's not starting now doesn't mean he won't start in the playoffs. Because if we play Miami, it might be better if he starts, because Miami is starting Olynyk and Adebayo up front, which is a two big lineup. But if we play the Bucks or the Boston Celtics, it would be better if we went small. So Nate can mix and match all he wants with this team, and that's what makes this team scary, is they can literally adapt their lineups and their rotations to fit just about anything the other team throws at them. And
100%.
Good teams can impose their will on the opponent, but great teams can do that when it's available. But against the Lakers with Anthony Davis and LeBron James, you may not be able to do that. You have to be able to adapt to what they're doing. And the Pacers have the personnel. When they have Sabonis, they have the personnel to adapt and overcome just about anything the other team throws at them. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the way San Antonio was in the mid-2000s. So I feel like 2004 through 2009. So that's kind of the way they're built right now.
And one thing, Warren, I knew after the 53-point game, and even before the 53-point game, Warren, his nickname's the Human Torch. He can, or Bucket. Some people call him Buckets. He can put the ball in the hole, but I don't know if it has to do with coaching or if he's just happier in Indiana or what. But I remember one problem being, or with Suns fans, the thing they had with TJ Warren was they said he didn't play defense. At least in the last 2-3 games, it seems like he's really bought in on defense, and I see him get a bunch of steals and stepping in a bunch of passing lanes. It feels like he's always in the right place in the right time, at least as of late.
Well, the big thing I've I mean, it's funny you mentioned that because when earlier in the season we played the Charlotte Hornets,
Right.
and David West was interviewed in the crowd, and because he lives out there, he's from North Carolina. At one point, David West actually coached T.J. Warren in AAU, and T.J. Warren was when T.J. Warren got traded here, David West called him and said, "Okay, you're going to a good team now. You got better start playing defense."
Yeah.
And sure enough, and and I honestly give T.J. Warren a lot of credit for that, but you really have to give the Pacers coaching staff a lot of credit for that too, because
they really have. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Dan Burke, who's been the Pacers defensive coordinator since like 2000, has a reputation for turning anybody into a defensive player. His mentor, a guy named Dick Harder, was the defensive coordinator for the Pacers when Larry Bird was coaching, and he really was the same way. If you think about the '98 Pacers, so the team that everybody knows from The Last Dance, you started Mark Jackson, Reggie Miller, Chris Mullin, sort of in your backcourt, that three-guard lineup. Right. And none of those guys were known as dominant defensive players, and yet the Pacers were a top 5 defensive team that year because of Dick Harder's ability to get them to play together. And the Pacers...
McMillan has these guys. Everybody's bought in. That's what I was saying. It feels like literally every player on the team is 100% okay with and willing to accept their role, and have been playing it to the best of their abilities. I mean, everybody's taking advantage of what's in front of them. I mean, Warren gets to play without Sabonis and even Oladipo for a game, and he's come up and he's been very easily, the main reason that at least our offense has been flowing the way it is. Whenever you have a guy that can heat check as much as he has and just been knocking him down, it is, and of course it hasn't been all threes like we said in the last episode, but he's scoring everywhere, and it makes it real. Whenever you have a guy this on fire and this much on a roll, it really opens up the offense for everything else.
Yeah, it really opens up opportunities for his teammates, and that's the other thing is he's not only is he scoring a lot of points, but he's making his teammates better. He's making the extra pass when it's available to him. So like when he's in the post against a smaller guard and the defense doubles down, he's making the extra pass out to Justin Holiday to make the three, or he's hitting McDermott on the backdoor cut. So he's not I honestly wouldn't call him a scorer. I just call him a basketball player. He's playing the game. He's reading the game.
100%.
And Victor was doing that before he got hurt. And if you think about it, when you get Victor back 100% next year, you're going to have 2 guys that can do that.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy seeing this team completely healthy. If they can all get healthy, if I'm another team, if I'm another playoff team in the East, I do not want to see the Pacers, especially if they have Sabonis. Sure.
And I think Phoenix will be a win, but when we play the Lakers, the Rockets, and the Heat, that's when you'll see how good this team really is.
Sure. And another player I have to bring up, it feels like every time I've seen him in this bubble, he's a pest, like you said. T.J. McConnell, I love him being the point guard for our bench unit. He seems like a safety net for everything bench related. It feels like he's great at dishing. He's great at leading a team's flow and movement on the offense. It feels like he's always on the ball. Wherever the ball's at, he's there. How do you feel about the bench as a whole, not just TJ, but just like we talked about last game, how did the Magic game make you feel in regards to the way our bench is playing moving forward?
Excuse me. Yeah, the bench, the Pacers right now in the bubble actually have the number 1 rated bench in the NBA right now.
Absolutely.
Every game they've played in the bubble, somebody off the bench has scored in double figures. At least one player off the bench has scored in double figures in every game.
Right.
That's something that I guarantee you a lot of teams in the bubble do not have it. That's a stat that a lot of teams in the bubble do not share.
Right.
And the Pacers the thing that's interesting about their bench is their bench plays faster than their starters usually do.
Right.
Because that's the other thing you like about TJ McConnell is he in transition he pushes it.
Fast.
And he really looks to pitch ahead to his teammates.
Right.
So the Pacers bench is not only playing well, they're moving the ball, they're playing solid defense, but they're pushing it. They're running the floor really well, and they're running the other team's bench out of gas.
Right. I absolutely love and have been loving the way McConnell and guys like Jakar Sampson have been playing. I mean, it's 100% effort, and this team, like you said, they play together so well. It feels like no matter what the lineup is out there, they know how to play together, and it seems like a play is always driven up. Or I saw so many cuts yesterday and beautiful passes to the paint that were just on perfect timing, everything. It feels like this team really plays great together, like we've been saying this entire video.
When you see a lot of off-ball movement, that usually means that the team has gotten comfortable within Nate's system. And that's what you're seeing. You're seeing, not on every screen that is set, they're not just setting the screen to set the screen. They're reading the defense. Anytime, every time, one of the best ways to get open as a scorer is to set screens. And that's what you're seeing McDermott. That's what you're seeing McDermott do a lot off the ball. Is he's slipping. He's slipping to the rim. He's and if the defense goes over the top of the screen, he's slipping to the rim, and that's why he's getting so many backdoor cuts. And if you think about it, it's Turner, Sabonis, and Warren, who are spending most of their time in the paint, are such good passers that they're not only willing to make that pass, but they're capable of it.
That's why I think Sabonis is
the Pacers front court right now. The Pacer front court right now. Yeah, the Pacer front court right now reminds me a lot of the Golden State front court before they got Durant.
Right.
So, you have guys like Draymond Green, Harrison Barnes, and Andre Iguodala at that 3-4 spot, who are all good passers and willing playmakers. And then you've got somebody up front like an Andrew Bogut, who's a defensive anchor, who is also a good passer. And that's really the way they're playing right now.
Sabonis' ability to pass is the reason why I think it's not going to be too hard for him to come back and fit well with this team, because it feels like this team has a lot of great passing and extra passing. Like even yesterday, I mean, I didn't want him to pass it up. I saw Myles Turner pass up a easy three, or what would have been an easy three for him at the top of the key to give it to Warren for a heat check. I did not think Warren was going to make that shot, but it felt the team is playing very unselfishly, and they know when Warren needs the ball, when guys are down low, wide open. Like I said, it seems like this team really, really knows how each other plays and are very comfortable with playing with each other.
They're feeling the game.
Like yes, sir.
Well, you mentioned coaching. One of the things McMillan has done down in the bubble, excuse me, one of the things McMillan has done so well in the bubble is he has kept them focused. And one of the ways he's doing that is he's having them meditate during practices. Sir. He's having like visualization and meditation sessions. Kind of like what Phil Jackson used to do with the Lakers and the Bulls, to keep them focused and keep them relaxed. There are a lot of teams down in the bubble that are taking the summer camp approach and partying the whole time. That's eventually going to wear on them. And the Pacers are hanging out off the floor. They're relaxing. Mm-hmm. But they just seem to be more focused on their craft than the other teams. And I think eventually that will pay dividends.
Right. I completely agree. And like we've been saying this whole video, there's something really special going on in Indiana. Next game against Phoenix. Everybody look out for TJ Warren going against his former team. A lot of people think he's going to have a big game. I don't know, just because of how big his last 2 games has been. I feel like Phoenix might be preparing for him defensively a lot. But it was great having you on again, Coach Jay. We probably will definitely get on and do a game recap of the Suns game, because I feel like that game is going to be more to talk about with them being 3-0 and us being 3-0 right now. D-Book just hit that amazing shot over Kawhi PG. So we're gonna see what happens in that game tomorrow. Great talk again, great podcast. I'll look forward to getting you on again soon.
Always a pleasure.
Yes, sir, Coach J. Appreciate you. Everybody watching this right now, make sure you follow us at Pacer Station on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. I cannot stress it enough. We got a lot of stuff going on all three platforms, and a lot of stuff going on YouTube too. We just hit 150 subscribers. Thank you to everybody who came over from the Bring the Juice podcast, the Bring the Juice podcast. Shout out Cody and Derek over there. Thank you guys for having me on that live stream the other night. Boosted my following a lot, and it's only going to get bigger from here. Yeah, subscribe, like this video, comment what y'all want next. Pacer Station, Pacer Nation. We deuces.